topic. So we're gonna stick to the West. OKC is running the West, but we're not talking about OKC, the Lakers, the Nuggets. We want to focus on these other teams that aren't literal title favorites. We're gonna talk about who's the most dangerous, kind of like who the most scariest. So I'm gonna kick it off to you, Dave. What team do you believe is the most dangerous team in the West to threaten one of these title favorites?
I think we talked about them before.
You know, it's funny. I think we're gonna agree with almost everything today. But go ahead.
It's the Warriors, Joe.
Okay. We ain't missing the Warriors.
It's the
Okay.
Warriors. The Warriors, to me, is the team that's most dangerous in the West because they already have two players on that team that have won a title. Well, I mean, two main players with Draymond and Steph. They have another guy who they just got at the trade deadline who's been to the finals twice. And he was the guy. He was the reason why they got there. They are, 13-3 since Jimmy Butler got there? It's one of the best teams in the West. And they weren't looked at as a playoff team. They were looked at as a team that could barely make it to the play-in before Jimmy got there. Jimmy got there and made a huge difference. Now, that's not to say that Jimmy has been giving them buckets every single time because he hasn't had a lot of – that's not what Jimmy is. Jimmy is not a guy that's going to give you 30, 40-point games consistently. That's not what he is. That's not what he's there for. However, in his last game, he did just put up a triple-double. So Jimmy can do it all. He can score, he can pass, and he can rebound. But the biggest thing where Jimmy makes a difference is defensively. Draymond and Jimmy Butler are two of the best defensive tandems in the NBA right now. I still think the best defensive tandem as far as the two guys on the team would be probably Jared Allen and Evan. I think those two guys are the probably the best two defensive guys in the league right now in Cleveland. But Jimmy Butler and Draymond defensively is a nightmare. Let's just be honest about it. Because Draymond played I think that game against Giannis was 0-6 when covered by Draymond. And we all know Jimmy is going to strive with whoever is on it. He's going to make it tough for you. With those two guys being able to play defensively makes it easier for Steph to be able to do what he does. Now, I know Steph got a back contusion injury from what happened in the game last night. So hopefully he's okay. But as long as they are good, I think the Warriors are the most dangerous team in the Western Conference.
I agree with you, but I'm going to show another team love, though. The Minnesota Timberwolves. I think they're dangerous. Why do I think me and AJ talked about them on Unfazed the other day on Tuesday? Why do I think they're dangerous? Number one, they got a bona fide superstar, Anthony Edwards. Did you know against the Lakers, Nuggets, and OKC, Minnesota is 7-4 against the top three teams in the West? Now, not seeding-wise, but the top three teams that people are picking to win a title. They are 7-4 against those teams. One thing about Anthony Edwards against anybody, including SGA, he can rise up to the occasion and be the best player. He can do that. Another thing about Anthony Edwards, he plays the other side of the ball. He will guard your best player. He would do what Stephen A. Smith said about Kobe. He would guard your best player. He would defend the perimeter. But he's not Kobe though. That's SGA. But anyways, they got a bona fide superstar. Number two, since the All-Star break, Minnesota Timberwolves are third in points per game, fifth in three-point percentage, second in taking care of the ball as far as turnovers, and fifth in offensive rating. So offensively, they've been lights out. And since Julius Randle came back, we're talking about Jimmy Butler. Since Julius Randle came back from injury, they only lost one game. Minnesota lost one game. They went 12-0 with him before they lost their first game. So Julius Randle's playing much better. And I think when they play the small ball, which the Warriors basically does, right? Small ball with Draymond Green at the center. When they play small ball and put Julius Randle out there, when Rudy Gobert is out, I mean, the paint is open. He's lights out. Nas Reed is playing good right now. I think he's a second leading scorer, if I'm not mistaken. But Rudy Gobert is the key factor. I said this on Unfazed. I need to see him have some defensive moments in the playoffs. I need to see more consistency. We can't see Rudy Gobert just keep getting exposed in the playoffs. Now, overall, I do agree with you. The Warriors, outside of the three teams that the Lakers, Nuggets, and OKC, I do think the Warriors are the most dangerous team because of Steph Curry is dangerous. I mean, come on now. He can also rise to the occasion. He's a two-time MVP, one unanimous, 4 rings. I mean, come on, do I got to say more? Jimmy Butler is itching to get his first ring. That's the thing about the Warriors. They have winners, and they added a guy who wants to be in that winning circle. You know how it is. When you add, it's easier to have a baby than to raise up the dead. When you got guys who already been there, they won, they done, okay, Kaminga already won, okay, cool. Moody already won, they won. Okay, cool. We need some new blood in the building that's excited. Babies are excited. Kids are excited. They want to run around. They want you to play. Come on, can you play with me? No, I'm working right now. Can you play? Can you play? Can you play? Old people, they just want to sit in the rocking chair. They want to sit there and watch everybody else play. Jimmy Butler is that new baby. He came in. He got there, but he never won, never closed the door. He leads Miami in a toxic relationship. Shout out to Thomas Alexander. One time he told me, he said, you ever been in a relationship and you ever been in a relationship so long, and then when you leave a relationship, you look back and be like, I don't know how I stayed that long. That was Jimmy Butler. He's like, I don't know how I fed up with Pat Roddy, man. What's wrong with I said the Ben came to the Warriors. So he's itching for a ring. So I do think overall the Warriors are the most dangerous team. I like my East team I'm going to pick. I don't think they can win, but I think they're dangerous. But the Warriors, I actually think they're gonna win. I don't think Minnesota could win the whole thing. They're dangerous, but can they win the whole thing? No.
Yeah.
But can the Warriors? Yes. I think we're gonna agree with it.
Same. Well, I mean, you go first on the East, so I definitely want to hear what I say. You first on the East, so I got to hear what you're gonna say. So, as Joe was saying, we already talked about the West.